Hi everyone, this is Gigi once again and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is about my experience at CG Cosmetics. All right, now where do we begin? What procedure did I have done? I had a breast augmentation with a lift. We'll get into which doctors in a sec, but let's start with the research. So I would browse Instagram and look at a bunch of before and after pictures of other girls who had the procedure that I wanted done. I came across the Instagram of CG Cosmetics. Now this is back in 2018. Back then, it was just Dr. Crow, Dr. Friedman, and Dr. Lesson. There were 3 doctors there when I was doing my research. And on their Instagram page, till this day, it was just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of boob jobs. So I'm thinking this is the clinic I want to go to in Miami because if they can do anything, they can do boobs. So with further research, I was going through the doctors' pages, and when it came down to the 2 doctors, it was between Dr. Friedman and Dr. Ari Crow. And I wanted to go for a fuller look. And if you know me, and especially if you know me from back in the day, I never had boobs. I wore a 32 AA, so that's even smaller than a regular A cup. So I was starting from nothing. But I had kids, so by the time I wanted to get my breast augmentation done, I probably was a small B cup, a little saggy, okay? So the reason I picked Dr. Crow is because he had such a good reputation. I'm pretty sure he was double board certified. Dr. Friedman, he does great work too, but it's something about Dr. Crow that just stood out to me. And he does like a lot of bigger boobs too, because I wanted to go pretty big. So I decided, okay, I'm going to pick Dr. Crow. I went, I went to the website, set up for a free consultation, and hey, I'm like 2.5 hours away from Miami, so I plan to drive down with my husband to go to the consultation. Right. So day comes, we go down there, I get there, the coordinator, who happened to end up being my coordinator, we're gonna call her Rose. Rose says, oh, well, you can't meet Dr. Crow today. He had to rush off to do emergency surgery. I'm like, okay, all right. But yeah, I'm gonna discuss everything with you and we're gonna do your little consultation. So we went into the back room, put on a surgical bra, and she gave like different cup sizes or whatever. And I put them in and like finally settled for what I want because I wanted to go pretty big. So I decided on the size that I wanted. We went into the room, we discussed financing and all this other stuff. I was gonna pay for my stuff outright. So I put down a deposit. I think at the time it probably was just a $500 deposit you could put down, but I wanted to get a chunk of it out of the way. So that day I put down $2,000, secured my date for June 2nd, 2018. All right, everything was okay. I didn't have any issues meeting with her. I didn't think it was, that big of a deal not to see the doctor on the first day. I'm a pretty laid back person. Fast forward. It's now getting closer to this. Well, we're not gonna fast forward too fast. We get to getting all my paperwork finalized so I can take my leave from work and making the rest of my payments. The payments had to be in, I think, 2 weeks before your surgery date, and that wasn't an issue. I processed all my payments with them over the phone, and my first initial down payment was in person. I got a receipt and everything. Now I'm calling them, hey, can you guys get this paperwork filled out, Every time I call, I'm put on hold or you gotta wait somebody to call you back, and they would never get around to just doing what I need them to do, filling out my leave paperwork. It was like no one was there to do the job. So after that, One day, I think I just called and I kind of like blacked on him. I was like, listen, I need to get my surgery. If I can't get this paperwork filled out, I can't take off work. And da 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 da. They finally faxed over to HR the paperwork that I needed done. A little messy, but hey, I'm not that picky of a person. So here comes the day of when I come down to Miami, it was like a day before surgery. I was at my recovery house. It was like the day before I had to go in to pre-op. They're calling me, oh, we need proof that you paid. I'm like, what? Proof that I paid? They wanted me to send them like screenshots of my bank statement showing the payments that I processed to pay them. I'm like, shouldn't you already have that on file? And mind you, every time I made a payment with them over the phone, she would send me like a copy of the receipt or whatever transaction it was. So it was just so weird to me that they didn't have any record of my payment. Now, I think a lot of these surgery clinics, they have like these portals where everybody goes in and they make their payments through the portal and be like, yay, you paid off your surgery and things like that. But they definitely did not have that back in 2018. I'm like, okay, so I go through my little banking app, I send them the little screenshots. It was kind of annoying. It was the day before my surgery and I'm in Miami at the recovery house. I just want to relax. There were other girls who just came from different clinics getting their procedures done, and we're talking, we're chilling. So that kind of annoyed me a little bit. But here goes the cake, because by the time I get down there, everything is paid for. I'm just supposed to get a breast augmentation. That's it. Let's rewind that. When I had my little consultation with Rose, the coordinator, who is not a doctor, I told her what I want. She didn't see any issues with it. She was perfectly fine with it. And she booked me for what I wanted, just a breast augmentation. Now it's pre-op. The day before surgery, I'm there all day. They had me fill out all my paperwork over. It's like, did you guys just throw the records away? Because when I came for consultation, I filled out all of this paperwork, and here I'm sitting and filling out the same documents over again. No wonder you didn't know where my payments were, because I don't know where you guys put these documents after you collected $2,000 from me. But whatever, I did that. Now I'm meeting back with another, I don't know what she is, maybe she's like a nurse or something, and she was like going over my medical papers and stuff like that, and she's taking the before and after pictures, and she says, you're just getting a breast augmentation? I said, yeah. She's like, you're not getting a lift? I'm like, no, we didn't discuss a lift. You know, when I came down for my consultation, that wasn't the plan. I'm just getting my boobs done. I'm not a plastic surgeon. I don't know how saggy your tits need to be to require a lift with your augmentation, but we'll get to that part too. So now it's the day of my surgery. I'm sitting there in my little gown waiting to finally see Dr. Crown. Finally see him. He walks in, he looks at the chart, he looks at my body, he's looking at me off a little funny, like, are you sure you're not getting a lift? I'm like, well, that's not what I discussed with the coordinator the day of my consultation. And he's like, yeah, if I put those implants in without a lift, it's not gonna look right. It's gonna look crazy. He pretty much said, I'm not going to do it unless you're getting a lift. Now, if you're someone who budgeted out and had everything planned and you put this money aside to take off leave from work for 2 weeks, everything was paid and calculated for. Now here I am, the day of my surgery, and I'm told I need a breast lift to go with my breast augmentation. How do you think you'd feel? So here comes, he sends in the finance lady or whoever she is, like, yeah, the doctor saw you today, and he says, you need a lift. Do you want to pay cash for it? It's going to be an extra $2,500 after I already paid them $3,500 for my breast augmentation with silicone implants. I said, well, I don't have that on me right now. Like, I don't have $2,000 to just shove over to you to get a lift. She's like, well, let's go over some financing stuff. So I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, do I need to reschedule? No, I already took off work, paid for my recovery home for like 4 or 5 days. like trying to get leave paperwork processed. No, this has to be done now. I said, whatever, give me the finance paperwork. I filled it all out. Thank God I have decent credit, so I qualified for the little Avalon, whatever credit thing, and I just put it on that. I said I'll worry about that later, and pay that off. So that brought my surgery up to 6,500 when I was initially just planning to spend 3,500. Hey, to me, that like really rubbed me the wrong way. Granted, I was able to just finance the rest, but what if a doll was sitting there and she had bad credit and she paid all of this off? What if she just didn't have that money to shove right then and there? What would she do? You guys would just turn her around or pass her off to another doctor? But I am very happy he went with his medical expertise and said, no, this cannot be done without it. Didn't try to shortcut it. And I went ahead and got the breast augmentation with the lift. So I'm guessing you want to know, well, what did you get? I have 605 cc's silicone under the muscle. I think my boobs turned out great. They feel great. The scarring is a little bit, I'm working on it, but I have skin that's very sensitive. A little scratch will leave the darkest mark, so that's nothing the doctors could have avoided. What else did I need to say? Got the surgery done that day. Okay. Now, sitting there, he came back. It's time for me to go into the operating room. The anesthesiologist, he was really cool. He was really nice. We were talking about something. I closed my eyes. I was out. Next thing I remember, I wake up. I'm in a room full of moaning women and, oh, I'm in so much pain. I'm in so much pain. I'm in so much pain. I kid you not. Soon as I opened my eyes, they were putting my little hoodie over me. I was already in my surgical bra and everything else. And they put me in the wheelchair. They wheeled me out the back door. And they handed me over to my recovery house. Literally, I opened my eyes and I was out the door. When I tell you, it's like a boob factory, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am type of thing. But hey, what do you expect when you're getting these prices? They have to get as many people in and out. It's not personal enough. That's my issue with these surgery centers and these clinics down in Miami. It's very and go. I even had a friend recently who had a BBL done at another facility. She had a lot of the same issues that I had, trying to reach out to the coordinators and get this whole COVID-19 test thing going on that we have going on right now in the world that we live in. And just the back and forth communication with that was very hard for her. She was coming from Arizona. I just believe that this is how a lot of these clinics operate. It's a little disorganized. Once they have your money, you're on their time. And when they're done with you, they send you right on out. So 2-3 days later, now it's time for post-op. The post-op room is very small, very small. I'm sitting there with a couple other dolls. Some of them have to get on flights. They have to go home. And post-op, we were there for hours to be seen. I don't know why post-op took so long. What happened? Where were the nurses? Because I didn't see a doctor at post-op. I saw a nurse. She looked at my scars. Okay, everything looks good. Leave the singes alone. And gave me some post-op care pamphlet. And I waited hours just for her to tell me that and send me on my merry way. The other girls, I wish them the best of luck catching their flight that day because it took so long to get through post-op. Besides that, hey, I can't complain. I got what I paid for. I'm very thankful everything went fine with my surgery. Lately in the surgery groups, and there's these Instagrams that are exposing some of the doctors there, and I've seen some graphic pictures and girls having issues with their nipples. I've seen some really bad infections. CG has to me, gone down the drain a little bit. I don't know what's going on over there. They have a whole bunch of new doctors. Some of these quote unquote complaints were for Dr. Crow, and I'm not going to downplay anyone's situation or what they had happened to them, but I'm like, wow, he would allow that to happen, or I don't know. That's not the doctor I experienced. However, if I do decide to downsize a little bit, because the girl is real busty, the girl is really big, and I think in the future I might want to go down to like maybe a 400cc, around that. If I do, I would go to his private practice. You pay more for a better experience. Hey, that's just the name of the game. What would I rate CG out of 1 out of 10? I'll give them, for my experience, a 7. I still got my nipples. My boobs are nice and soft. I'm not suffering from any type of breast implant illness right now, so I'm not going to completely knock them down. But I hope the customer service has changed from 2 years ago. And whatever's going on with those doctors, hey, if you don't want to put your real effort in and working at these clinics, then don't work at them. No one tells you to come here and do surgeries for discounted rates. You signed up for that. So, hey, I wish all the dolls a great experience no matter what surgery center you picked. And yeah, that's my experience.